Welcome back to Art Books Reviewed, and it's another cold day, yes, so I'm wrapped up warm. Okay, so what I'm going to do is have a little look through this rather amazing book today. It is Hung, Drawn and Executed, The Horror Art of Graham Humphreys. Okay, now I need to put a bit of a disclaimer on here, I think, because this book, I love the art in it, but some of it, there's some nudity in here and there's definitely some gore in here. So if you don't like those things, I'd stop watching now. Having said that, you know, it's all done, I would say, tastefully. Well, the art's brilliant, I think. But if you don't like too much nudity or gore, you don't like zombies and blood, then yeah, I'd click away. But for those who don't mind a bit of that, wow, there's a lot to see in this book and it's some really good art. So it's published by Correro Press, I think. I've not really actually heard of them before. There's a nice little skull there, look, on the spine. And there's a nice back, look at the back. The back alone has got some excellent art on it. Some nice quotes. Scarier Than the Film by Mark Gatiss. I loved this poster, Sam Raimi. I love Sam Raimi's work. Clive Barker says, beautiful and transformative. A danger to bourgeois society, says Richard Stanley. And yet, there's a foreword here by Dacre Stoker, or Dacre Stoker, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but a relative of Bram Stoker, no less. And they say, feasting on the blood of the past to nourish the new. So, let's have a look. In terms of size, it's just over 28 centimetres tall, okay? And it's just over 21 cm wide. It's published, like I say, by Correro Press. It's just absolutely brimming with artwork. About 174 pages long. It's got a nice, smooth feel to it. You can probably recognise quite a few of those. Look, there's a guy from Hellraiser, there's Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street, Critters, I think. There's Ash from The Evil Dead. Is it Mike Myers there? Many more on there. Memorable, iconic pieces of artwork. So let's have a look inside, come on. Okay, so here goes. Let's see what's inside. Lots of sketches. This is a great bit of art just here. Is this from a film? I don't actually know. But there's lots of zombies and a guy with a gun. This is a nice little icon as well. So it was published in 2019. Here's the ISBN. It's dedicated to the countless horror fans who have supported my work and helped it evolve. Alright, so here's the contents, okay? It's kind of broken up by sections here. So like I say, there's a foreword by a relative of Bram Stoker. We'll find out more about that in a second. There's an introduction. There's a foreword by Victoria Price. Book covers. So basically he's done a lot of book covers, Graham Humphreys. And then he's done various designs for Blu-ray covers and DVDs. Film posters, I really like those. Some miscellaneous work that doesn't really fit into any other category. Film posters. Actually, these must be posters for non-films. Private commissions, so things that people have asked him to do privately, and then there's some record covers as well, and some acknowledgements. So let's peel back this curtain and get on with it. Here we go. So here's the foreword by Dacre Stoker, great-grandnephew of Bram Stoker. Well, I never. Basically talking about the importance of Count Dracula in horror. So here's an introduction. And we get basically treated to a bit of a history of how Graham Humphreys got into doing this kind of artwork. It says he was born in Bristol in 1960. Went to Salisbury College. And I think, just to cut a long story short, his sort of early successful work was for an Evil Dead depictions and also A Nightmare on Elm Street. That's interesting. Look, the stuff, very vague. creepy and vague. The stuff, it could be anything, the stuff. That looks like something that someone's made. I don't know, some cardboard boxes and a bit of aluminium foil. No offence. What is it? Oh, his attempt to recreate the giant robot. Okay. This is possibly one of the most informative pages in the entire book. Shows his creative process. Shows how he gets that end result. So basically he takes photos. I think he's saying he was sent these actually. The client supplied these. He then kind of traces over them so he gets the scale, so the lines are correct, the perspective and the scale is right. It's a slightly complicated process, but once he's got the sketches, he then rearranges the photos back on top of the sketches so that the client can agree the exact kind of layout. Once that's done, he sets to work actually with the final illustrative work. Puts down like a base wash of colours, base pigments, and I think that's what gives it sort of his signature, if you like. I think the colours are really evocative. That there's lots of greens and yellows and reds, obviously with blood, and I think that's what makes it stand out and different from other artists. So yeah, basically talking through how putting down the layers of paint, then he starts to actually sort of paint on the black line art again, and so on. You can see then there's basically some digital work going on. Sorry, I missed a page. He scans it in, having done the colouring, scans it in bit by bit, using an A4 scanner, interestingly. It says desktop scannee. Oh, there's a typo. You don't see that very often. Anyway, I'm not here for the words, it's mainly the art, so it doesn't matter. So he scans it in, reconstructs it. Look at that beautiful piece of artwork at the end there. I'm going to try his method of using photos and tracing over them, because I wouldn't normally try that. I'd try and just control it myself, but I think that's a good idea. Okay, here's a foreword by Victoria Price, author of Vincent Price, A Daughter's Biography, and The Way of Being Lost, A Road Trip to My Truest Self. And then we're on with the first section, book covers. So I won't show you all of these. Wow, just look at that. See what I mean about the colours? Instantly there's like kind of different kind of shades of blues and greens mainly, a bit of yellow, a bit of red. Monsters to die for. Look at this shark devouring the top of this guy's head. I don't like sharks. So yeah, we'll Nosferatu there. We'll just keep going. Let's see what we can see. Look, there's a skeleton rising from the ground, like they do, and various people pretty terrified by that. Undead uprising. Okay. So now onto the DVDs and Blu-ray section. City of the Dead. A lot of death, uprising, zombies, and vampires, generally speaking, with a bit of other stuff thrown in for good measure. Or Fall of the House of Usher. Here's one I've not heard of. What is this? El Topo. So yeah, I've not been through and read all of this. I'm not familiar with all of the films and so on. Looks like Lemmy. Is it Lemmy? Anyway, let's keep going. Various of Peter Cushing's making an appearance there. Necronomicon. That is horrendous. Look at that. More vampires. They tend to go hand in hand, don't they? Really, a melting face, body melt. Classic melting. Oh no, it's pretty gross. Cujo. I loved Cujo as a film. Watched that when I was too young to watch it. Probably, definitely before I was 18. And I'm assuming it's an 18 film about a rabid dog. It's a Stephen King book, obviously. It's based on, and it's a pretty scary film. That put me off St. Bernard's for life. This as well, Cohen and Tate. I've not seen this. It's got Roy Scheider. I want to say Schneider, but it's not, is it? Roy Scheider in it. I need to see that. It looks like my kind of film. Matinee, John Goodman in. Anyway, look at it all. Such an amazing collection of artwork. is interesting. This is not something I'm aware of. So this was a US-based TV series for the Sci-Fi Channel called Blood Drive. He's done the artwork for this. And what I really like is that really low, kind of low perspective. So you've got a dismembered hand lying on the ground, which is basically even bigger than a car. But this car looks like it's about to run over it anyway. So that's by the by. I don't know what that is there. There's a guy being fed into one of those tree chipping machines. Yeah, look, another one of those. It looks very disturbing, but also something that I need to probably find out more about because it looks great. Some private commissions. I like this American Werewolf poster. Really good. I love the transition to werewolf depicted there, as in the film. Poltergeist. Yeah, that was a creepy film. I'm going to skip to the end anyway. Loads of pages. We've missed quite a few out. But there's the cover again. But great book. If you like horror and you like horror art, you need to buy this book, really. It's probably one of my favourites within this genre. It's a really nice collection. So, I hope you've enjoyed looking at that. I think it's a great book. Like I say, if you are okay with the subject matter, you're not offended by that, then I think there's a lot to get your teeth into here, and you know, what a body of work from a very talented illustrator there. So yeah, don't forget to like this video, and if you want to see more, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully see you next time.